What it is like to be the Taygetan queen and a YouTuber. Part 2. My experience. Hello again. Thank you for being here with me once more. I hope you are very well today. I am Marie. This information can be seen as science fiction, or as the viewer sees best, and I post it for entertainment purposes only. Still, I take my information very seriously, and for whoever has eyes to see. I will continue, more or less, where I left off in the first part of this video. Queen Alanim secluded herself on the starship Toleka for security reasons, and by her own will, being that she had not been off Toleka for several years now, as she was well aware of the imminent dangers and threats against her, and because it had become impossible to predict from where exactly such a menace may come at her. This is why the starship Toleka has so few crew members, simply because these few are the only ones Alanim can trust. They are her inner circle. This logically causes all of them to be heavily overtasked with all the things that are necessary simply to keep the ship running, even despite all the automated systems on board. She had become a nuisance for the Galactic Federation as she did not want to follow any of their mandates, seeing them as senseless and even heavily oppressive towards everyone. Alanim truly became a space conspiracy theorist, and even more so as she backed up projects that the Galactic Federation disapproves. For example, the direct communication some members of my group were having with people such as Robert and Gosha, who were mass communicating our points of view, and our reality of life in space, also as another angle of the falsity of Earth's existential realm. Also, as I explained before, Alanim has convinced the entire Alcyone Council, which sees over the interests of all the civilizations of the Pleiades, that the Galactic Federation is acting in a very negative way with everything concerning planet Earth. This also caused other civilizations to start to question the Federation for the same reason, and if all this was not enough, Queen Alanim also signed alliances with the Irma Feline Federation, which has always been extremely disobedient to the Galactic Federation. After all this, it is quite logical for Alanim to have safety concerns, knowing that many powerful people within the Galactic Federation, those dubious ones who control it from behind, would logically want to take her out, to erase her. Knowing all this, Alanim saw the need to look for a successor, someone who could follow her footsteps and way of thinking, sadly, because she suspected that she may not last long on the throne before being attacked somehow. Her successor needed to be eligible by the High Council of Taygeta and their rules. There is no such thing as inheriting the throne simply because someone is the son or the daughter of the queen. The idea of royal families as such is not observed in Taygeta. The mere concept of a royal family does not exist, as each person must prove their worth before even becoming eligible. Then Queen Alanim had her own standards which had to be met, and one of the most important ones was that the person who she appointed as her successor must have a lot of experience on Earth, at least as a step down, simply because much of the problems of the Taygetan civilization start and have started on Earth. As we've observed by Captain Goriel's report, the Galactic Federation, in all its supposed benevolence, love and light, or so they claim, has decided to manage Earth's problems by isolating humans there, supposedly until they evolve. The Federation is quite blind to the mere fact that such isolation in a false reality matrix is precisely what causes much of the negativity and the bad things happening on Earth. Queen Alanim's concept is quite the opposite, as she believes in awakening people to the facts of life and the true universe, freeing their minds in the process, so each soul can evolve at their own pace in freedom, therefore lifting the entire planet and its society into a beautiful place. Of all the people on board the starship Toleka, and of all the people Alanim could trust, the only 3 people who qualified as a possible successor for Alanim were the next, her younger sister Nishera, who quickly stated that she was too burnt out and overtasked to take on such a responsibility. She said that all she wanted was to have a calm and peaceful life, for once, so she was out. Then the next possible candidate was Athena Elizabeth Swaruu, who also turned down Alanim's proposal, stating that she did not have the personality, nor the interest to accept her proposal and therefore would not be motivated enough to do a good job. Then the next possible successor was little Sophia Yaji Swaruu, who was one of the first ones to be considered, yet she is too young, and she is quite reckless, always wanting to create her own rules for everything, this in her own words, as she is the first one to admit all this. And Queen Alanim needed someone to succeed her shortly, not many years from now, so Sophia being so young ruled her out immediately, even though we all know that there is something off, something weird going on with her real age, but that is another subject. Anyhow, most star race representatives and similar people would have a very hard time taking Yaji Sophia seriously, as she looks so 9 years old. This regardless of how long Sophia has been 9 years old. Although I don't like to say this myself, yet no one else will, Alanim saw me as the only ideal candidate to be her successor. I have always been a fighter in life since I was very little. I never run away from a challenge and I'm known to take myself to the limits, so yes, I accepted my nomination willingly, and I am fully conscious of all that it meant and all that was to be expected of me, even though I already had my hands full with this YouTube channel. But then the elaborate biological attack against Queen Alanim happened, and I was forced into my role, first as a princess queen, which means that I would still be mentored, and then as the full queen. Yet I really thought I would be given the role of a full Taygetan queen much later in my life, something like 10 years from now, when I felt I was prepared and with my mind set to it, and not like 3 weeks after, as it happened, because I feel as if I was nominated as Alanim's successor just half an hour ago. First with Alanim's absence while she is healing in her medical pod, and then with the arrival of the hurricane in Tema, I was cast and thrown into my role as the Taygetan full queen all of a sudden, much to my horror and surprise. Especially because at 16 years of age, I consider myself to be too young for the role, yet I have been told that I am not the youngest person to hold office, as a long time ago, a little wise 13-year-old boy with full past life memory became the Taygetan king, and he is remembered as one of the wisest and most beneficial leaders of Taygetan society, and he ruled until his old age. It is interesting to see that many strange and strong things happen to people at age 13, especially to Taygetans. As I have been told, no one cares about my age because I am also known for having full memory of several past lives, therefore my mind and thoughts are not only the ones of a regular 16-year-old girl, if there is anything regular about 16-year-olds, that is. Yet I am fully conscious that I am living in a 16-year-old female body, full of its problems, and all kinds of hormonal hypes and maturing processes and problems, all of which can be quite challenging for the mind. I am very grateful for all the trust and all the support I have received from Taygetan society, and from the representatives of the few star races which have already recognized me as the Taygetan new queen, but I am especially grateful for all the support of my closest friends and family here, including all of you who kindly follow me on YouTube. My friends and family here have known me at least since I was 13, when I arrived here in the way I explained in past videos, so many still treat me as a little girl to this day, the same one who used to play with Yaji, the same one that used to chase around with her on the metal catwalks over the hangar spaces, while frightening the adults who were trying to take care of us, this especially for Anika, which Sophia and I made her have a hard time more than once, as she was frightened to see us running on the catwalks high above, chasing each other and pulling on our hair, as she was trying to prevent us two from, dying. Although it is very nice to still be seen as one of the two little girls on the ship, it can also be hard as they do not usually see me as an authority figure, this as a rant. Adding to this, I still perform my initial activities on board, as I still do the dishes and store them away, clean equipment and floors, feed the cats and clean up their messes, among many other mundane tasks and chores, as I have always done. This is also for Queen Alanim, who never stopped doing her mundane chores, which included cleaning Sophia's bathroom, and as the little one used to say, "Who is the real queen here?" as Alanim cleans my toilet. It looks like little Sophia has somewhat of a cat mentality, with their litter boxes, and Lyrian humans cleaning them. And, no, as the new queen I am definitely not going to be cleaning Yaji's toilet. This next is something that I want to share with you and is very important to me. All this queen business that is happening to me bothers me from the YouTube point of view, because I strongly feel that people from Earth see royalty as the enemy, which they are on Earth, but I insist that does not apply to most advanced star races, including the Taygetan. I am the Taygetan queen now, but I am not royalty. That is an Earth concept which bothers me a lot. It also bothers me because kings and queens are justifiably associated on Earth with hideous abusive people covered in gold, and drunk with power. And that is not how and what I am living, and that is not how things are up here, as kings and queens are the ones who must take care of their society and hold great responsibility over their shoulders, also while they represent them all over space. They are the problem solvers, not the problem generators, at least ideally. So, all this queen business makes me feel like it's taking me away from you, creating a barrier, and that is the opposite of what I want, as I want to be closer to all of you, and not further away. Making this even worse, it may create the idea that I have my life solved, which it does not by far, because I heavily depend on Earth for my food and supplies because my biology does not accept most of the Taygetan food, as I get easily sick from it. So despite all my responsibilities as the Taygetan queen, I must still see to it that I generate enough resources for myself, and for the few people here who also depend on Earth for their sustenance. As Athena Swaruu and the entire CIC crew say, it is too much responsibility for a 16-year-old teenager. I don't know, but anyhow, I have done my best and I will continue to work as hard as I can, as I know I have always been this way. I do not deny that it is hard to balance my writing and video making time with all the demands from Taygetan society which I solve on screen or by remote presence, as Alanim also used to do, and also have a little bit of life to exercise, and do some of the sports I love, like dancing and choreography, as well as driving human-made vehicles at unsafe speeds inside the small racetrack that was improvised here for me and DK, who shares my same interests, and which goes around the main hangar area and inside it. Yes, I like motoring. Before I go, I want to thank the Taygetan High Council and all its members for believing in me. Rest assured that I am fully capable of fulfilling my role as I have demonstrated so far. Thank you. I also want to thank all of you, my dear public and friends, for supporting and believing in me and my work here, and for your awesome donations which are the ones that keep me fed and going on with the good work. Thank you, my friends. I am Queen Marie Swaruu I now, but I am not royalty. I am a simple teenage girl thrown into a great responsibility, and I will always be Marie Swaruu to you all, or simply Marie. And, no, I will not be painting or dyeing my hair white. This subject is very important to me. Thank you for watching, especially if you got this far. Even though there is so much more to be said. As always, thank you for watching my video, and for liking, sharing, and subscribing for more. It helps this channel grow a lot. And I hope to see you here next time. With much love, your friend, Marie Swaruu.